Hey all, Al here. Today I'm going to jump into the Cowan Sims R66 just to do a cold start, dark start, just to see the difference between the default one and the one with the updated sound pack that I bought from Orbix. I'll put a link in the description below. About $18 for the Hey all, Al here, back at Moorabbin again with the Robinson R66. Just gonna do a comparison between default Robinson R66 from Cowan Sims and the new updated version with the new sound pack from Sound Immersions, which is available on .to or it's available everywhere really. Orbix, can't think anywhere else. I think it's on the same as well. I paid about $17-18 Australian for it. It's supposed to really improve the immersion for the R66. Seen it on Two Tones review during the week and it looked pretty good. What I'm gonna do is jump into the R66 here at Moorabbin, cold and dark, do a start, and then compare to the start with the new sound pack added in. This is gonna be fun because this is the first time I tried to do cold and dark. Jump into the plane. We'll jump into the helicopter. Go through the checklist up here in front of us. Seat belts, we'll take it that they're already on. Fuel valve, we'll have a look at the center console. It should be down here, up in front of me. This is the first fuel valve. We need to push that down, put the protector on it. Fuel valve done. Cyclic, friction off. With the cyclic around and test the collective as well. Should be able to see the collective going up and down. There. It's all working. Full travel, we've done that. Collective, full up and down, that's okay. Cyclic, we've done that. Pedals, they're all okay. Just with the cyclic, with the collective, which is this on the helicopter. We go outside, we zoom in a little bit, you'll see what the collective actually does. There you go. So you can see what it's doing with the blades. As I pull it up and down, it's actually moving the mechanism there. That's what the collective does. We've checked the collective. Rotary brake, disengage. And the overhead brake is here. It's disengaged. Circuit breakers are over on the left beside the passenger. All the circuit breakers most work. They're all in and okay. Cabin heat, anti-ice, heat. Here in the center console for us. They're all off. Bit of the cyclic. Anti-ice is off, pitot heat is off, cabin heat is off. Okay. Landing lights off. Avionics, navigation, lights are all off. Okay. Avionics is off. Altimeter, set the altimeter. Altimeter is set. Hydraulic switch on the collective. Cyclic, sorry. Getting confused between the collective and the cyclic. There's the hydraulic one. Should be on, which is on already. There. The difference, what this does is the difference between the R50, the R44 and the R22 is the hydraulics on. Cyclic here helps a lot easier to fly. That's on. Done all the pre-checks. Start up. Battery and the strobe light on. Battery on. Key. Clear. Around really quiet at 7 o'clock in the morning. Cut off is already pulled out. Little protector's office. Throttle will close a little bit. Watch there. Watch on my camera, that's the throttle. Close that a little bit. Okay. What we need to do now at the moment is the next thing we need to do is we'll have to push the start button, which is on here. I have it done to a little button on my collective. I'm going to push that button. Push that button. Center console. When we get to 25%, which is this little dot here, if you can see it on the RPM, a little dot, we'll let go of the start button and we'll push in the fuel cutoff. Let's try this. This is going to be... I'm going to be quiet while it's doing this so we can see the difference between this default one and the other one. Just close the door to see. Quietens down a bit. Check the enunciation test up here. Looks okay. Close the door. Check the hydraulics on cyclic. Just move it around. Around again. Put it back on again. Can now actually do is increase the throttle ever so slightly. Up at 100%. All the gauges look to be green. Two RPM, hold steady at 100. Torque is about 20. Want to tell me that should be everything okay. I'll put a description in the put a link in the description below to a person, an actual real pilot. Will be better at me with the whole startup. He explains all the gauges and everything. But for me, it's just to see what's the difference in the sounds of the startup. Default one, which is this one. What is going to be different with the add-in for the Sound Immersion NG. Again, I'll put a link in the description below to that on flightsim.to. Over the shutdown should be the reverse of the startup. We could throttle it down. Going to get the low RPM because we've throttled it down, right back down. Pull the fuel cut off. The hydraulics off. Check the overhead. Brake on. Battery off. And as far as I know, that should be. We can cut the fuel off here as well. Cut off. Cool down of the helicopter. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to jump out and add in the sound pack. Do it all over again and see the difference. Okay, so we're back again, the R66. This time with the sound pack, the sound immersion. I'm going to try a startup again and see if there's any difference. Jump in here. Get our start checkup guide on again. Sure, a few of these things I think we actually should just reset back to default. Because normally all stay on. So we'll go through the checklist again. Seat belts. This time I actually think the seatbelt will click when we actually switch the on switch, as far as I know from check that. Fuel valve. Say that's in. Anti-cyclic. The collective. We break. So circuit breakers. Check them all. They're all in. Cabin heat. Here. Collect cyclic off. Ionics. Standing lights. Altimeters set. Hydraulic switch on. Battery on. Bob on. Engine on. There, you heard the little click of the seatbelt. That's one of the new sounds. Area, we should be okay outside. And we're gonna start up. Did before. I have the little button. Okay. Collective. Shouldn't have done that because I should have been looking here. Click that button and then we're gonna push in the fuel cutoff. Again, when it gets up to the little arrow on the RPM. Increase the throttle. Test on here. Sure everything is okay. Should be it started up. 100% in the RPM. The dials are in the green. One thing different to this, I think, as well, what I've seen on their video, we go to the overhead. get background chatter as well.
I got link ready to go. Registration sticker is Baker William Adams.
Back in. Reverse everything. Get rid of the background chatter for a second. I don't know if we switch that to off. We power down the throttle with the collective. Okay, so when I first did this, I have to eat my words. I first did this when I actually ran the test with the default helicopter and then ran up with the new sounds added in. I ended up going, oh, I'm not so sure. I can't hear the difference between the two of them. And it was true. Weirdly, I couldn't hear the difference between, don't know what was wrong, why it was wrong. Couldn't hear the difference between the default sounds of the R66 and the enhanced sounds of the add-on sounds pack. However, having said that, I went back and listened to the recordings. And in this video, where I've edited two of them, the difference, it's night and day. Anyone's going to be able to see it. Don't know why I couldn't see it in the beginning until I listened to it a second time. Default ones are nice. Default sounds. The enhanced ones are... I've never actually been beside an R66 setting up. I can only imagine that that is the way it sounds in the real world. Where you can hear the actual turbo kicking in. You start it up. You can hear the whir of the propellers. Well, I gotta eat my words, and I gotta say this sound pack is absolutely brilliant. Again, it's the weirdest thing. At the beginning, I was dissing this, going, I don't know, I wouldn't buy this. I can't hear the difference. Listen back to the two of them. Now I can hear the difference. Because if you sit back into the default one and listen to the sounds after starting up the new sound pack one, you'll go, yeah, it's night and day. It's, you can hear the kick in of the turbo and the whole lot. So apologize, I cut it out. I was going to release it with the one with saying I can't see any difference, can't see why you'd buy this. eat my words. I looked at it a second, listened to it a second time, and even in this video where I've edited it in, I'm sure you'll go, you can see the difference between the default one and the add-on pack. So I have to say, now after listening to it a second time, the sound immersion from NG is absolutely spot on, and it just enhances the whole. And this is just the startup of it. Apparently, there's more things where the skids, where you drag them along the ground. We'll try that later on. You can hear that. The propeller sounds will change as you put the helicopter through its paces. Something like probably the UE does as well. You can hear the chop change on the helicopter. But right now, 100% well worth the 18 US, not 18, 18 Australian dollars, whatever it is, 10 US. Well worth the $10 or the $80 to add in the sounds. And I'm sure as I fly it along more, just be more enhanced. So yeah, had to cut out the end of the first one. I edited it out where I was going, can't see any difference between the two of these. Listen to it a second time, I must think, you idiot, are you deaf? There's a night and day difference. But the link is in the description below if you want to go on. Anyone that's interested in helicopters in the R66, pick it up. It's well worth it. And we'll do a bit more flying on this as we get closer to 2024, get used to the R66 and the R22 and the R44. Get used to them because I want to do a bit of cattle mustering, cattle chasing, cattle roundup in Australia when the 2024 comes out. Hopefully the cattle are there. Need to get used to this helicopter. Yeah, well worth $20, $10, whichever, wherever you are. Absolutely night and day sounds. Hope the video actually shows that. So anybody that's sitting on the fence thinking, will I buy it, won't I buy it? I think it's well worth buying it if you're interested in helicopters and the R66. Is we'll leave it at that. Joys of editing videos and actually realizing you said something stupid and you edited it out. We'll leave it at that and we'll talk to you later. Bye.